With the draft order set, the mock drafts around the world have started, and most of them suck. Me and Pat are going to discuss that all and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat, the designer, host, and creator of the Windy City Breeze, and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. Also, about to be on Fox. Shout out to my boy getting on TV. Look at that. We see you, my boy.
Hey, man. Fox 32 Chicago. Tune in with us tonight. Me and Luca Nellis and Abdallah, Chris Black, Cassie. We all going to be breaking down the Bears schedule, man. Cassie Carlson. Shout out to all them, man. It's going to be fun.
Should be fun. You guys, I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And thank you for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every single day. Pat, part of this job that I love to do is to look at the national media and ask what the hell is wrong with some of these people in the major sports outlets. So the mocks have started, and I see we have the topics over on the right if you guys are over on YouTube, but we're not necessarily following that one for. We're gonna have a free flowing discussion about mocks. I have problems with mocks, bro, because I get it up until the draft combine. I understand that it's more like a power ranking. It's just like, hey, these are some of the best talents in the draft, whatever it is. After the lottery happens, it should be more about the teams that are in those spots. And I feel like some don't get literally after the combine, ESPN, for example, very first, an hour after the lottery, have the Bulls drafting a guard. And not even that. It'd be different if it was a guard that brought something that we don't have here. You have them drafting younger Josh Giddey and Egor Demin.
Yeah.
What's going on here, Pat?
I mean, listen, the Egor Demin one, I think, is an interesting fit. The position, I would say, is not that interesting. I mean, like the Bulls drafting a guard. Oh, my God. Surprise in the world. It wouldn't shock me at all if the Bulls drafted a guard at 12. This is AK we talking about. Now, I will say this right now. I think it does come down to this. The evaluation in the NBA is a little bit different. I love the fact that you have Josh Giddey, but history has shown you teams that decide to take or not take the best player just because they have somebody that fits that position usually end up regretting it. So if Egor Demin is a better version of Josh Giddey in the long run, if he is the actual version of Josh Giddey that becomes a superstar, now I'm not saying that he is. I'm not saying that's what I want the Bulls to do. But if he is that, draft him. It won't make sense now. It'll make sense in the end. You want to know who it really would have made sense for to have Michael Jordan? Portland.
Yeah.
But we have Clyde. So why would we ever go that direction? You really know what you want to know what it really would have made sense for the Chicago Bulls to go out there and draft when they needed a shooting guard that was better, but they had belief in Marcus Fizer, Dwayne Wade.
That's still one of the craziest things in the world. Bro.
Marcus Fizer.
Marcus. We missed out on having Dwayne Wade twice, and then when we finally got him,
he was dead.
Actually,
when we finally got him, he actually was fine by the end of the season, but he got Cristiano Felicio paid. F this guy. Those alley-oops got Felicio paid.
Absolutely,
he
bro.
was catching every lob in the world. No, but I just think that, right, like, listen, if Egor Demin is Josh Giddey and you feel good about Josh Giddey, but Egor Demin ends up being a better version of Josh Giddey, you'll look back on it and go, yeah, we had Josh Giddey and that's cool, but like, dang, we let that go. Now, I'm not saying that's the situation, but basketball is just so different. You can't go just off of positional value because one player makes the biggest difference in the NBA.
Yeah,
I mean honestly, that's why we didn't draft Tyrese Halliburton or Tyrese Maxey.
Well,
we had just drafted Coby White.
I don't even know if they even had Halliburton on their board. I don't even know if that had anything to do with
brought him in
or not.
They brought him in for a workout. Yeah, they brought Hallie in for a workout. Hallie thought he was coming to the Bulls.
I don't even remember that.
Hallie said he was like, I thought I was going to be a Bull. Like I was preparing, like looking around Chicago. Like, all right, I'm in Chicago.
It is what it is, man. Like you said, it's not about. Here's the thing. It's the half measures always. Like if the Bulls were to go guard, like you said, it wouldn't be the most surprising thing. I can see some guards on here that I can honestly, especially with we don't know what the future of Coby is. Technically, we don't know what the future of Giddey is either. Yeah. So I can see that, right? But this is the Chicago Bulls we're talking about. They will draft a guard, re-sign everybody, and then look at it like, why aren't these guys excelling? Well, maybe because they all do the same thing.
I agree with that.
What about that?
Yeah. I think here's the thing though, right? And I think the Bulls are in a different position. Team building now is a different conversation for the Bulls because it actually feels like you have pieces of a team. Right? Like that's where now it feels like, okay, let's start team building. Modest, Giddey, Coby. We got pieces. If you go out and you draft a guard, AK doesn't believe in the pieces you have. Because he's still looking for the piece to build around.
But see, and that's the thing. If he doesn't believe on the pieces, great. Like if AK came after the draft and said, and the way the sequence of events is that we draft a guard, we then sometime between now and the start of the season trade one of our guards, and it turns out, hey, we didn't believe in this guy, so we got somebody that we believe that they're selling more in. That's great. But the problem is that he won't believe in somebody and re-sign them anyway, and then we're stuck here with a gluttony of all the same thing.
Hey, definitely don't believe in P. Will no more. Gave that man $90 million a year in. Was like, hey, we got to get rid of him.
we brought in 3 development coaches. None of them can work. None of them could work with him.
And then we fired one because he wouldn't work with him. I don't know.
No, we fired one because he called us out on why we keep wanting to try to work out with this guy.
But no, the one thing that I just. Listen, I don't know if Egor Demin is going to be the piece. I don't know who's going to be the guard or the center or whatever it is that AK is. That is the eye of AK's, excitement right now because we never know it, bro. We've been doing this for 3 years. We have looked over, got to be well over 200 players, bro.
Oh, and throughout 3 drafts.
Well, throughout 3 drafts, got to be well over 600 players.
I don't know. Come on now. Yeah, looked at 600 in the draft.
You're probably looking at. We're probably looking at 150 to 200 players.
Yeah, I was about to say 150, 200. Yeah, that's more realistic.
Yeah, that's 600 people. 200 a year is 600.
Oh, we don't review 200 people a year, bro.
Oh, we don't review them. I'm saying what we look at. I'm saying the people that we look at just in. Oh, no, it's just me? All right, my bad. I got a problem.
I highly doubt you look at that many people, too, because you were just as caught off guard by Dalen Terry as we all were.
Well,
there's only 150 people in each draft. You don't look at tape of everybody in each draft, Pat. Don't tell that lie, bro. I talk to you too much. You don't have the time for it, bro.
I'm trying to think. I feel like that's not even a crazy number for us. 150 people? Pat, you got to think. You look at overseas. You looking at G League mud.
You ain't looked at all that, bro. You ain't got a cap for me, bro. I know you too well.
I'm not capping.
All right, Pat. All right. Listen, I talk to you. I can tell by how you talk about some of these guys. You ain't watched tape of them, but I'm gonna let you be. I'm gonna leave you be. But I think, like you said, we do look at a lot of people, and even the people that make sense for, like, Walker Kessler was right there. He was right there.
Yeah.
So it's you can have something sensible for this team. And we'll get into the next up coming up. We'll talk about the players that are some of the players that are mocked to the Bulls, and you can make sense out of some of them. But the thing that's always dangerous about AK is that it's always that one player that you got to look at and you see, and I know me and you both done it. We've been like, oh, he won't draft this guy, and they were like, wait a second, he has long arms, he's bouncy and plays defense.
And I mean, that's the thing, bro. Like, you find so many players just like that make sense for AK. You almost got to look differently. You almost got to look through like a completely different lens. Because, like, I remember last year watching, who was one of the big men, reshape.
Yeah.
And the point guard that was on his team that I think is coming out this year. I think he ended up staying in France. But you looked at him and you were like, oh, he can barely play basketball, but he got all the measurables. Oh, God, that's going to be an AK pick right there. That's the next one. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of them where it's just like, you just see these ones like, oh, that fit. Right, bro. Devin Vassell, you had to see Devin Vassell. You had to see him.
You
to draft
scouted
Patrick
the team.
Williams.
You had to look at him, and you just looked at him and said, hey, no, the guy that's actually showing everything we hope that this other player could turn into, we're not worried about him. What about that guy that hasn't shown it yet?
He doesn't have the arms. He's making three.
Nonetheless, man, we'll keep it going. We'll get into the mocks and exactly who they have the Bulls draft and go by that one by one coming up next. But first, we got to get to a message from Wayfair.
That's me. That's me. I don't know what's happened at the end of this week, bro. There it is. No, I did it.
The days are getting longer, the weather's warming up, and people are spending more time outside, which means it's the perfect time to refresh your outdoor space. Whether you're working with a big backyard or a small balcony, Wayfair has everything you need to make it feel more like you. Wayfair's massive selection of outdoor essentials makes it easy to transform any space into your ideal summer setup. From comfy conversation sets to sleek dining tables and outdoor decor, they got it all at the prices that fit your budget. Grab a new patio dining set and some string lights from Wayfair to help extend your outdoor space. I love the mix of styles they offer. Wayfair makes it super easy to find pieces that match your vibe without spending a fortune. Delivery is free and hassle-free, even for big stuff. Whether you're entertaining guests or just relaxing solo, shop Wayfair to help you unwind. Shop a huge selection of outdoor furniture online. The summer gets outside with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
Gotta pick the ball up. You gotta pick it up. 2 days in a row. That's tough.
Hey, listen, bro. You know what? Don't feel bad. I woke up today until about 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes before we started recording, I thought today was Tuesday. Hey, I was fully locked in that today was Tuesday.
I have a major event happening today, and I thought it was Monday.
You thought it was Monday?
I literally was like, what's today? Monday? Like, oh, I got this going on. My wife was like, what'd you just say?
That's crazy.
Is it not? Oh,
anyway, so we already kind of touched on ESPN a little bit. Let's go through these mock drafts. They do have the Bulls drafting Egor Demin, who is very similar to Josh Giddey, 6'8" guard. I do think he has maybe more two-guard skills than Josh Giddey does, but still very similar. 27% three-point shooter, 41% field goal shooter, 5.5 assists, 3.9 rebounds, still in a half per game. How would you feel about Egor Demin if he does end up becoming a Chicago Bull?
Listen, it all depends on what the Bulls are actually going to be able to get with him, right? Like, is he that next name? None of us are going to know what this young man is, right? Mm-hmm. Until he hits the NBA court. Do I think that Egor Demin fits some things that the Bulls want to do? Yeah, but I also think Josh Giddey does. And you draft Egor Demin, I guess, if you don't believe you're bringing back Josh Giddey, maybe even more so. Like, maybe that's the situation where, oh, we saw this work. We don't want to pay the big money yet. We're going to go Egor Demin over Josh Giddey and try and get some assets back with Giddey in a sign and trade or whatever it could be. I don't even know what the situation could work out where you get to this point of the season and go, yes, we're going to get rid of Josh Giddey. But if that were the case, Egor Demin's not a bad name to have on your team. I think that he has some really, of course, the good handles. He's got consistency. I think he brings a ton of skill set. I think his true shooting percentage is above 50%. So, like, there's a lot of things that you really like about Egor Demin, but does he fit the current team? Only if he's the superstar that you're looking for. That's literally it. Only if he's the superstar that you're looking for. And AK ain't done a great job at finding superstars here in Chicago.
We just need 9 to 10 really good players, Pat. 9 of them being guards, maybe even on 9 point
10 of them being guards. What you mean 9? Trying to get Bucci some tall ball point guard, bro.
The Athletic has the Bulls drafting Carter Bryant. Now, this is one of the more raw prospects in this draft. Didn't have a whole lot of opportunity. Only averaged about 19 minutes per game in college. 6.5 points. 37% though on 3-point range. 46% for field goal. 4 rebounds and a block and assist in 19 minutes isn't really bad if you're trying to project that out. But at the same time, this is a really, really raw kid, but does have upside to be that true 3-and-D wing. He can guard 3 or 4 positions potentially at the NBA level. But this feels like you're trying to get the Patrick Williams pick right. That's what this would feel like. What do you think about Carter Bryant?
I said yesterday, no. I would hate if the Bulls drafted, because here's the thing: you're not in a position where you can miss.
Yeah.
You're not like the team is actually to a point where it's like you can only like there's so many pieces in this draft you can add to the talent you have on this team. You're going the wrong direction if you miss. Carter Bryant he's Pat Will. He's hope. He's potential. And I'll say this: even the shooting with Carter Bryant, right? Like, yes, he shot the 3-ball well, but the volume is going to go through the roof in the NBA. Are you going to be able to maintain that with the volume that the NBA is going to put in front of you? Listen, you know who wasn't able to? What's old boy from Cody? Was it dang, what was that boy name? Cody Williams. Cody Williams last season?
Another Patrick Williams 2.0.
Trash.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Carter Bryant would be cool if the Bulls like this team that had been on playoff runs is like, we're going to go with the guy with the most upside. We're going to hope that they develop. If they work, it's great. We don't need that. There's so many players that do things that you hope that Carter Bryant's going to be able to do. They do it now. So why take a guy and they're not that much older than him. He's 19 years old. Great. But Rasheer Fleming's 21. And he does everything that you can hope that Carter Bryant does already. You know he does it, at least at the college level. You know he does it.
Yeah, his answers.
And the thing is like, the thing about P. Will isn't his skill set. It's the mentality. So I can even understand if somebody wants to make the case, well, he has a lot more aggressive of a personality than Patrick Williams. Okay, cool. But to me, even in those 19 minutes in watching this tape, that doesn't feel like an aggressive player. I'm good. It's too many other players that I take before Carter Bryant.
Yeah, and listen, like I tell people every year, dog, look at the game by game. Don't look at the averages. Look at the game by games. How was he game in? How was he game out? A lot of them games is 1 for 4, it's 1 for 6, it's 1 for 3, and then you have a 5 for 6 day, a 5 for 7 day. You've got a 4 for 5 day, right? You've got the days where it gets hot. Are you going to live off of that? Because his skill set is 3 and D, and if the 3 is not consistent, you got to be a 3 for 7, 3 for 6 kind of player more times than not at the NBA level for you to be a 3 and D wing. Pat Williams can be 3 and D
every 10 games.
He's only taking 2, 3 a game at times.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's not 3 and D. That's just D in that was about to be crazy.
I'm so glad that you saved yourself there, bro. You ever, like when you see somebody about to hit the wall?
I've had a rough morning.
I was like, oh.
I've had a rough morning on the Morning Breeze. I tried to say I don't even remember what it was that I was trying to say. It ended with the tip in, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I've had a rough morning on the pause moments. Hey, I saved myself on that. But no, Carter Bryant to me is not consistent enough in the big games. He's not somebody who's being utilized. Like, come on, dog. Like, don't P. Will this again.
Yeah, let's not do that, especially in the draft that's supposed to be deep. It's bad enough that you did the P. Will on a draft that was not supposed to be as deep. That ended up being a lot deeper than people were giving it credit for. But on an expected deep draft, let's not do that. Next up, and we may have to continue this into the next segment. Asa Newell out of Georgia. 6'9", almost a 7-foot wingspan. A guy that I was really, really high on as we started coming into the season, but guys like Rasheer Fleming and other ones have passed him up for me. But Bleacher Report has the Bulls drafting Asa Newell. How you feeling, Pat?
Asa Newell would be interesting. That's one where I'm actually a little bit more intrigued by that. I think the question for me is, will Asa Newell actually be down there? I think that he could be a top 10 player in this draft if we're being honest, but I mean, again, you see the production, still very young, coming in 19 years old. I think this is more of somebody who kind of fits the mold of what the Bulls are looking for a little bit more, as far as that forward that can kind of be a center, can be a power forward, a little bit of a tweener. He already comes in with a good weight, 216 on him and 15 and 6. I think that especially with some of the offseason moves that we've talked about, the Bulls have to find somebody who can play that dual role, especially if the Bulls are going to be interested in somebody like Jonathan Kuminga, who is a ball in the hand kind of player where it's like, let me get out of my way and let me go score the basketball. You're going to need somebody who can fill in, that can get the rebounds. You're going to need somebody that can fill in and get the scoring at times if you do go after a player like that or that style of player. And especially with the team that the Bulls have right now, I just think that, to me, adding in a guy like Haize Newell, with what we saw out of him in the tournament, with how he was able to be so versatile defensively, that's something that you need.
Yeah, I think the lob threat, the defensive versatility is huge, but we'll continue that after your ad read.
Absolutely. Before we get into this final topic, talking about continuing on the Haize Newell conversation and talking about Derik Queen, ladies and gentlemen, that is that's going to be our draft darling this year, ain't it? That's the guy that we're going to be the most focused on, probably. Yeah, I like Derik Queen. He didn't travel. That's the other thing too. Got NBA moves already. We got to tell you guys all about Car Gurus. Shopping for a car should be exciting. He picked the ball up perfectly. Shopping for a car should be exciting, not exhausting, but between the confusing prices and hidden fees, it can feel overwhelming. That's why I love Car Gurus. They help you cut through the noise and show you the best deals with full confidence. With over 4 million listings, Car Gurus has more new and used cars than any other major online marketplace in the U.S. They verify dealers, provide real price analysis, and give you the tools and data you need to make the right choice without second-guessing yourself. Need a deal you can trust? Car Gurus makes it easy to compare vehicle prices side by side with unbiased deals and ratings. The best feature, price drop alert, so you know exactly when the perfect car is available for your budget. It's no wonder similar web estimated traffic data shows Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site in the world. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.com. Cargurus.com. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
Almost
had a perfect landing on it.
You gotta remember, I gotta push the additional button of the music on top of everything.
Pushing the button.
It's two buttons, Pat. Had to make a decision. Is the transition gonna be perfect, or are we gonna have the music be perfect? I bet on the music. That's what I did.
Gotta have the music.
But to continue the conversation on Haize Newell, I love you talked about defensive versatility, because I think with Giddey and Coby being your backcourt, if that's your backcourt, you need a big that's going to be able to switch onto multiple positions. You need that type of thing, I think, to make it the most optimal that it can be. Haize Newell brings that. That defensive versatility. I get it that the size, it came in a little bit lower than people thought it was going to be. His wingspan is less than 7 foot, which if you're going to be a center that's 6'9", 6'10", you like to have a 7 foot or above wingspan. But I think sometimes you just got to, the measurables are cool. And we'll end this talk about a player that his measurables came in as horrible. And I really don't care about it at all in Derik Queen. But I think Haize, you got to look at the motor. You got to look at the defensive IQ, which is really good for Haize Newell. And people talk about him so much defensively. He has a lot of upside offensively too for you as a big. So
100%.
I wouldn't be mad at Haize Newell as well. I think like Thomas Sorber, Rasheer Fleming, Haize Newell, those are kind of my favorite realistic picks, but we'll get into that further as we get into the week. But the next guy, and I know this is a guy that we're all going to love if he falls to the Chicago Bulls, that's Derik Queen. I don't know if you got to see the thing that came out from Draft Express. They tweeted it, is that basically Derik Queen's comparison to historical centers that are successful is low as far as the measurables, as far as the jumping, the wingspan, all of that. I don't care about any of that because I've seen the man play basketball. Pat, am I tripping to not care? CBS Sports has the Bulls getting Derik Queen. If Derik Queen were to fall to 12 for the Chicago Bulls, am I wrong for not caring about those measurables at all and looking at the motor that this guy plays with?
I think that the measurables won't matter depending on the attitude. And what I mean by that is there's people out there that still don't know Anthony Edwards is 6'3", 6'4". His mindset is different. His aggression is bro. Most thinks he's 6. I have so many people be like, "Was he 6'5", 6'6"? No,
because
this man is a shooting guard.
He plays big, exactly. He's technically a small shooting. I love that you went to that.
And that's really the where it's like the measurables. Yes, the measurable. I mean, they come in basically Wendell Carter Jr. Right? Like that's pretty much what his measurables are. But
Wendell, Al Horford, very similar.
Wendell, Al Horford, right? Very similar guys, but. Is the mindset for me with a player like him is that it's always wanting to get better. It's always wanting to grow his game, and is finding ways for his game to be an advantage. And that's what being in the NBA is about. No matter what your measurables are. We watched freaking Spud Webb play in the league for 10 years. I mean, like, it's all about how you're able to go out there and match up. And in this NBA of positionless basketball, there's always a matchup. There's always something where there's an advantage. Now, will he be the same level of defensive player at the NBA level that he was in college? Maybe not. But is he going to have a mismatch on the offensive side more times than not?
Yeah. And it's his playmaking, his dribbling ability as a center too is crazy, bro. Now, he doesn't bring a lot of the defensive needs that we have, but I look at it and I say this. It's easier to find, I think, a power forward then, or a small forward, depending on where you play modest long term, that can just play defense, than it is to find somebody with the skill set and mentality of a Derik Queen.
I mean, and this is the thing too, for the people, well, you got to go out and get that defense right. Bulls defense was fine to finish the season, and we don't have a single defensive player.
That's another good point. And we're adding, hopefully, Io back. Lonzo, I believe in when I see it.
Come on now, dog.
That's what I said. I believe it when I see it.
Like, you don't have a single defensive player, and the Bulls defense was top 10 in the NBA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I love, to have a defensive big that's down there just sending shots away. Yeah.
You know what Lonzo is? I found the perfect. Like, Lonzo's when you go to the vending machine and you get a Snickers and it kicks out too. It doesn't happen very often, but when it happens, you appreciate it. That's Lonzo Ball. It doesn't. You don't get him very often.
I got
but when it does happen,
look at that.
Look,
I got 35 games. I got 35 games. Look at that. That's nice. That's a wild comp, dog. That's an insane thing to come to your mind. But no, man. Like, the thing with Derik Queen, I would love to have him on the team. And again, we don't have that guy yet. We don't know who that guy is yet. We think Modest could be a guy, right? Derik Queen's mindset, Derik Queen could be a guy.
Yeah.
He may be the star that you're looking for. I'll tell you what, when the moment was biggest, he didn't shy away from it. He ran to it. So I think that's where, for me, you're not just looking for a piece that fits what the Bulls are trying to do. You're looking for a superstar right now. You're looking for the best chance at getting a superstar. That's what you're hoping to find in the draft. Because that's what changes the game. You don't have that on this team yet, no matter what anybody says.
That's not what AK's looking for, though, bro. He's looking for a couple of
10 good players.
9 to 10 really good players, and let it work out there. Last one. We do got one more mock to get through before we end the show. The Ringer has the Bulls taking Jace Richardson out of Michigan State. Came in a lot shorter. Than people were expecting. Still, technically, as a point guard, he would be a big point guard at 6'5". But the problem is that people coming into the draft have him projected at either shooting guard or small forward. He doesn't really have the type of point guard skills that you think of. But what would you think about Jace Richardson?
Here's the thing. I think Jace Richardson is the same conversation we were just having about Derik Queen, right? It's mentality. You couldn't tell me that this kid wasn't 6'6", 6'7".
Sure.
How he plays, how he goes about his business, how he finishes around the rim. Do I think that, again, like, does he have the star upside? I don't know if I feel like anybody has superstar upside just yet. Right. And I watched a lot of star upside. I think Jace could have that. But see, for me also, right, like, everybody's a star in the league. Like, there's a bunch of stars in the league. Because
maybe this is the best way to grade it. Do you think they could be the first, second, or third best player on the team? Any of these guys? Do you think that's maybe how we need to talk about it?
I think every one of these guys could be the best player on the team.
He'll be the best player of the team.
Yeah, okay, cool. I think that every one of these. You don't have that guy yet. I like Modest. I really like Modest. I love what he brought in his rookie year. I like the mindset more than I like the consistency on the court.
Yeah, very inconsistent.
Because the mindset speaks to this dude wants to get consistent on the court. You know what I mean? Like, that's my thing with it. Like, I like how he approaches the game more than I like where his game is at right now. But I don't think his game is in a bad spot. I think his game is in a very good spot. I feel like any one of these pieces coming in could be the number one on the team. Because Derik Queen has the skill set to do it. Jace Richardson has the skill set to do it. To me, Jace Richardson comes in, and I think the fact that he can shoot the 3 ball at an above 40% clip, I think that adds to his game.
Better hope he could turn into Jalen Brunson at that size is all.
And that's what it is. Yeah. I mean, he measured in at what, 6'2",
6'5". I said 6'5", 6'5" inches. My bad.
Yeah. Definitely. Not
I did say 6. I did say 6'5", but
again, I think that he plays like a player that's much taller than that. You would think that because he's so aggressive about it.
Yeah.
Now, can you do that at the NBA level? That's where you got to see if it's going to play out that way.
If they took Jace Richardson, what again, I guess we kind of talked about this at the beginning. I was going to ask, what do you think that means for how they view the backcourt? But that would just tell me that they don't actually believe in the backcourt of Coby White and Josh Giddey.
It's one of two things for me, right? I don't think that it's definitive. I think that we just want to see if something's better.
Yeah.
We feel like this could be better. And that's where this team is at right now, unfortunately. We have no answers. People want to create answers where answers don't exist. You don't have the answers, Sway. Like, yes, we all feel good after what we saw at the end of the season. It was a fun couple of months. Is Coby White the future? Is Coby White here in 2 years? Is Josh Giddey back this season? Does Modest Buzelis turn into a superstar? I've seen young players have a hot couple of months.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it falls on more. Like, now I will say, if you take Jace Richardson, you gotta think that he's gonna be that guy.
You better believe he's gonna be that guy.
You gotta think he's gonna be that guy.
That's what I said. You better see Jalen Brunson upside, because if not, it's gonna be questionable.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You better see Stephen Curry upside.
That's generational. I never like to go to generational comps, but
I think we might have Jalen Brunson upside on the team already. If Coby get consistent, we got Jalen Brunson upside.
Yeah, we'll see.
You better think he's replacing somebody. But hey man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Hit that like button. Follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Follow us both on everything at Locked On Bulls.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, making Locked On Bulls your first listen every single day. You know, we appreciate y'all. Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV. Basically, anywhere you want Locked On Bulls, you can get it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you guys. Go Bulls.
Comfortable.
Peace. Embrace it, Pat.
That you could get it felt wild.
You can get it.
That's my shit.